We even do the scrolls.
We're gonna do that after this.
Laya Shala.
Last hour. Good stuff. All right. I take this out. Hold the scroll. I'll let you decide. You want to hold the scroll and I'll do the prayers, or do you want to have? Well, we have it opened up. That's the main thing.
I'll hold the scroll.
All right. Grab this side.
Is it like stuck on wires? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it'll go this way. There you go. All right, a madium, which means to stand. Sapar, it's like a sar, which means to turn. Wapani Hakwadam, which means to face the east, and we're gonna start with the Lord's Prayer in the ancient Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashaman, Thamanawa, Lakham, Kal, Yawam, Masalakana, Kabawatna, Kasalakna, Kabawatna, Wala'ah, Tabi'ai now, Banasaya one, a ball, Awashaya now, Mayan, Rai, Hayah, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'Allah, Watapara, La'ilamium, Aman. Now what we said is, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Next we have the power prayer. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bakushah, Athanawa, Hakah, Laraba'ah, Kal Makalak, Wakal Narawa, Hakah, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Hakah, Lahakuyam, Amathiam, Hakah, Al-Rakawa, Atama'ala, Lagarashan, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, the water. Amen. Power prayer in English. Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of disease. The power to cleanse. The lepers. The power to raise. The dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. Now we have the blessings prayer for Israel. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakanaw, Wayasha'ala, Wahabayah, Saparium, Barak, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, the water. Amen. What we said was, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. Now we have Psalm chapter 121. Asha, Ayanya, Ahaharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayim, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalaka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarat, Bala Yala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Kal Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza Athka, Wabawaaka, Mayata, Wa'ai, Ayulam. Psalm 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
You will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade
Yahweh is thy shade
upon thy right hand.
upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in,
from this time
from
forward
this time forth,
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Move that fan a little closer.
Focus on the other one now.
Slide me up. I'm good, John. Boys cooking up this thing. Psalm chapter 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Fakharash.
Al-Takarath.
Al-Fashakwat.
Al-Tashakwat.
Al-Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Awayabyaka.
Awayabyaka.
Yahamaya 1.
Hamayawan.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Aimaka.
Al-Amaka.
Ya'arayamwa.
Ariyamwa.
Sawadah.
Sawadah.
Wayata.
Wayata.
Ya'aitazawa.
Yaitazawa.
Al-Tazapawanyaka.
Al-Tazapawanyaka.
Amarawa.
Amarawa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakashidam.
Katiyadam.
Magalia.
Galia.
Wala'a.
Walala.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Sham Yasha'al.
Sham Yasha'al.
Iwadah.
Awadah.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawa'aitazawa.
Nawaitazawa.
Laba.
Laba.
Yakadwa.
Yakaru.
Al-Yaka.
Al-Yaka.
Baryah.
Vaya.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Ahalia.
Ahalia.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashma'alia.
Vayashma'alia.
Mawa'aba.
Waba'aba.
Bahagaria.
Wagari.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'imawan.
Wa'amalat.
Wa'imalat.
Wa'amalat.
Halashat.
Palashat.
Amyashabya.
Amyashabi.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gamashawar.
Amashawar.
Nalawa.
Alawa.
Imam.
Ama.
Hayawa.
Ayawa.
Zarawai.
Zarawai.
Labanya Lawat.
Bani Lawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Aisha Laham.
Shalaham.
Kamadya.
Kamani.
Kasaya Sarah.
Pasaya Saraya.
Hayabya.
Ayabya.
Banakal.
Manakaw.
Yashwan.
Yashwan.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Ba'ayan.
Bayan.
Da'ara.
Dara.
Hayawa.
Ayra.
Daman.
Ma.
La'adama.
Adama.
Shayatumwa.
Shaitamwa.
Nada.
Nada.
Yamawa.
Yamawa.
Kaira.
Kaira.
Kaza'aba.
Kazab.
Wakazabat.
Kazabat.
Wakatizamanai.
Katazamana.
Kanasaya Kumwa.
Kamasai Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarawa.
Amawa.
Nayarasha.
Narashah.
Lanawa.
Alawat.
Ah.
Ah.
Na'awa.
Nawat.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Shayatumwa.
Shaitamwa.
Wagalgala.
Gavdala.
Kakwash.
Wash.
Lapanya.
Lapanya.
Rawakha.
Rauha.
Ka'ash.
Kaash.
Tabaira.
Tabair.
Ya'ira.
Yair.
Wakalahaba.
Wakalahaba.
Talahat.
Alahat.
Harayum.
Arayam.
Kantaradapma.
Kantaradab.
Basa Irika.
Basa Irika.
Wabasa.
Wabasa.
Wapathka.
Wapadka.
Tabahalam.
Tabahalam.
Mala'a.
Ala'a.
Hanyahum.
Anyaham.
Palawan.
Palawan.
Wayabakwashwa.
Yabakashu.
Shimka.
Shimka.
Yahawa.
Yahawah.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahalawa.
Yabahawa.
Aya'ai.
Ayai.
Wayapaparawa.
Ayakapar.
Wayabadwa.
Yabad.
Wayata'aiwa.
Ayat.
Waya'ata.
Ayat.
Shimka.
Shimka.
Yahawa.
Yahawah.
Labadka.
Labadka.
Alyawan.
Alyawah.
Alkoha.
Alkahar.
Abratiza.
Avatisa.
Now we're going to read Psalm chapter 83 in the English. Keep not thou silence,
Keep not thy silence.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace.
and be not still,
Be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult.
thine enemies make a tumble.
The day they hate thee
They that hate thee
have lifted up their head.
have lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people
against thy people
and consulted
and consulted
against thy hidden one.
against thy hidden one.
They have said,
They have said,
come,
come,
and let us cut them off
and let us cut them off
from being a nation
from being a nation.
with the name of Israel.
The The name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more in remembrance.
So they have consulted together
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against
They
thee,
are confederate against thee.
the tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab,
Moab
and the Hagarenes,
and Hagari,
Gabal,
Baal
and Ammon,
and Ammon
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also is joined with them.
The Sir also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah,
Salah,
do unto them
do unto them
as unto the Midianites.
as unto the Midianites.
That's Sisera,
That's a Sisera,
that's Jabin,
that's a Jabin,
the brook of Kaisan,
the book of Kaisan,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became the dung for the earth.
Make their nobles
Make their nobles
like Oreb
like Oreb,
and like Zeeb.
like Zeb.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as the Baal
all the princes of the Baal,
and as Dalmunna,
and as Amunah,
who said,
who said,
let us take to ourselves
let us take to ourselves
the houses of God in possession.
the houses of God in possession.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as a stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth a wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame set the mountains on fire.
as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy tempest,
with thy tempest,
and make them afraid
make them afraid
with thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name,
they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh,
Let them be confounded
let them be confounded
and troubled forever.
in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know
that men may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high
the Most High,
over all the earth.
we are there.
Now we have the rank and order. Bless his prayer. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wama Yak'Allah,
Wama Yaka'ala,
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim,
Matazad Ya'ah,
Hatazaviyah,
Alawat Yahana,
Alawak Yohanan,
Ha Alawapim,
Alawapim,
Ha Saranyam,
Asirani,
Patazayanyam,
Patazayani,
Hakaya Yalyam,
Kaya Yalu,
Wa Akwathian,
Wahabati,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Hashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Shai,
the water.
Wa.
Amen. And in English, bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
commanding General Yohanan,
Manager Yohanan,
the general,
the general,
the captain,
the captain,
the officers,
the officer,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sisters,
Yahweh, in
Yahweh,
the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you, so be it.
thank you so be it.
Do we do this? We don't do this prayer.
Uh,
All right. With that, Sar, I'm going to turn the face in front. Go ahead, set the scroll down. I need you to blow the horn one more time. Well, good young man, Junior. Most High in Christ, brother.
you on there?
Stay locked in, brother. Don't turn away from the screen. Go ahead. Nice. With that mashabia, which means to sit. Sign of Christ, y'all. Clap it up. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Shabbat Yahweh Shemar Taba Hashem Shai. We're the Isupk. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, 1969. Under Commanding General Yohanan, we're here to teach the truth of the Bible that so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians are the real Israelites according to the scriptures. Now, it being the Sabbath, technically, because it's sundown, right? We're going to go ahead and rock out the Sabbath right now because we got major council tomorrow for the brothers in the school. Obviously, that those details are not going to be made public. But you know what I'm saying? What is always going to be made public is the Sabbath service. We'll make sure to get that to y'all live and direct. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're going to do right now because we had some very interesting things as far as what we're covered in the scriptures. We go quite in depth when it comes to these scriptures. When we do the Torah, we're not just reading it. We are really digesting it in a chronological order, which is, I mean, good night. You know what I'm saying? Christians, they say they want to read the Bible front to back. Well, imagine taking 3 years, 2 years, was it 2 or 3 years we've been doing Sabbath service, just to read Genesis. We are reading it. You know what I'm saying? We are reading it. Not only do we jump to and fro when it comes to the scriptures the way we have to, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. When we break it down chronologically, we're breaking it down in the Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Ancient Hebrew, getting the definitions of the words, getting complete understanding. You know what I'm saying? And also, of course, the perspective of the ancient language is something that can't be overlooked. Because when we read these scriptures in its original form, in the closest possible form that we can to the Holy Tongue, which we believe that this is the accurate one. You know what I'm saying? The dialect that we speak, the mannerisms of the characters and the hieroglyphics that we use for the text itself. Ancient Hebrew is ours for the taking. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, it's time for us to take command of that back. We need to do that. Without doing that, you got to understand the kingdom of heaven, you're not going to be speaking English. You're not going to be speaking Spanish or patois or French. You're not going to be speaking any slave languages there. You know why? Because you will not be a slave in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to have your own heritage. Hey, I appreciate that, young man, Charles. Let me see if I got the audio going. Shalom, how about your He says no. I'm seeing the mic on right now, but I'll check the stream. See if we got some audio because we just got through doing the prayers. I hate for that to have not gotten heard. Yeah, that's crazy. Because we on their settings right now, young man Charles, I'm actually seeing the mic that we have activated. It shows that it's getting sound. So we'll see if something's going on our end here. We'll just double check that before we continue. Yeah, go ahead and click on that. We'll see if we're getting anything there. That was the previous one. Yeah, you want to go to the current one.
Yeah, you can hear
it. Yeah. Hey, Charles, check to make sure you don't have it muted because we do got sound on our end and that's confirmed. All right. Bob Kashad, check to see if you have the volume low or if you have it muted for any type of reason. Also, want to take the time to share the class, like and share the class. You know what I'm saying? If you, you know what I mean? You want to definitely try to reach out to other people that need this truth. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know, that like or that share changes the algorithm and somebody might come across that needs this truth just like you do, man. You know what I mean? Just like how I did when I first heard this truth. You understand what I'm saying? Like one interaction, one encounter is all it takes to change somebody's life, to change their whole perspective. Like I remember young man Charles, we met young man Charles at a block party. You checked on YouTube, right?
Oh, yeah, I was on YouTube.
He was on YouTube.
What's his name?
Young man Charles.
Wait, what he saying?
Yeah, he said I could hear you on Facebook. You check both of them? Just double check one more time, or try reloading the app. You know what I mean? Because you know those things can happen. But heck, I'll check my damn self. You know what I'm saying?
Facebook. Y'all can hear it on Facebook too.
All right.
It's definitely playing on Facebook.
So what we were saying again, we're going into Genesis chapter 48, verse 15. Let's go ahead and get this thing going because you know what I'm saying. We're actually getting close to the book of Exodus. It's gotten all the way to the point where now we're at that turning point where Genesis has gotten to the point where Israel is being created as a nation. They just moved into the land of Goshen. You're saying what I'm talking about? The Pharaoh has Joseph in his favor, who's gone through so much to get to the point where he's at, where he's then able to move in his family in a situation that they're going to be able to thrive in with land of their own, separate from everybody else, with provisions and cattle and everything that they need to till the ground and work the fields and get everything for their own, because they're the kind of people that know how to do that. You got to understand where we come from, Israel. We come from a family of people that knew how to use their hands to build on the earth, that knew how to till the ground, to plant, agricultural skills. We knew how to handle herds and cattle, farming and things like that. Things that we take for granted now because you can go to the grocery store and get a, you know what I'm saying, you go to the cold area, you see the packaged up foods and all that. Somebody had to do all the work to get it to that. It took a whole team of people because you had slaughterhouse, you had the farmers, you had the packaging, taxidermy, but whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. Imagine one family being able to do that for their household, and then that household gets to thrive because of the know-how that they have. You want to say that we're on some type of level because we're in a technological age and you're watching me through a digital stream? Man, listen, we are all one paycheck away from being broke. We are all one EMP away from going crazy. We're all one grocery store shelf from turmoil and people clawing at each other like the toilet paper was out. Remember that? Imagine what's going to happen when there's no internet. talked about this during the feast day. We have to keep thinking about that because that's actually what we want. Or do you not want that? Do you not want the Most High's degree to bring forth because you're comfortable with your Netflix and HBO Max, with your restaurants, the drive-throughs, the fancy? And I see we've been spoiled in this place, but at the same time, we've been spoiled in this place, meaning taken advantage of as people. That's why it is the way it is. Every captivity Israel has been in, we're what makes it great. There's no different than what you're seeing right now in America. Same story over and over again, except this time, this is the last time we're going to be in slavery. We're now reading Most High Christ. We're now seeing right now the building of our nation in Genesis chapter 48. And this is a beautiful thing because everything coming from here on forward, the rest of the Bible, it stems from these very important events that took place when we were in the land of Goshen, which is, again, part of Matazarium, or also known as Egypt. I'm just giving you the Hebrew name for Egypt. Now we're going to read it in the Hebrew. And another reason why, again, we read it in the Hebrew, Copy Yard is pretty efficient with it. He's going to get through the first 7 verses, starting at verse 15, because that's where we left off. We read through 14, Genesis 48, 1 through 14 last Sabbath service. Now we're going to pick up at verse 15. We're going to read up to verse 21. Then we're going to get it into English, and we're going to keep going like that for a couple rounds. We're going to make sure we get through some of this chapter here. So go ahead, take it away. Copy Yard, I'm going to go ahead and make sure to share the class while you're doing it.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 48 and verse 15. Waya Badak, Ath, Yawasap, Waya Ma, Ha Alahayim, Ashar, Hatha Halakawa, Abathia, Lapanyawa, Arbaraham,
Son of Christ.
Yatazak, Ha Alahayim, it's like a Ha Raya, Athaya, it's like Ma'ai Wadaya, I, Hayawam, Hazaha. Verse 16. Hamalak, Haga'ah, Athaya, Makah, Ra, Yabarak, Ath, Hanariyam, Wayarakora, Baham, Shamya, Washam, Abathia, Abathia, Abraham, sorry. Wayatazak, Wayadegal, Larab, Bakorab, Harataza. Verse 17. Wayara'ah, Yawasap, Kaya, Yashayath, Abayawa, Yad, Yamayan Nawa, Id, it's like an owl, Ra'ash, Apariyam, Wayara'ah, Ba'ai Yanayawa, Wayathamak, Yad, Abayawa, Lahasayar, Atha, Ma'aw, Ra'ash, Apariyum. Ra'ash. Manasha. It's like Manasha. Verse 18. Wa Yamar. Yawasap. Abiyawa. La'a. Ka. Abiya. Kaya. Zaha. Habakar. Shayam. Yamayanak. Ra'ashawa. Verse 19. Wayama'an. Abiyawa. Wayamar. Yada Ithaya. Banaya. Yada Thea. Gam. Hawa. Yahaya. La'an. Wagam. Hawa. Yagadal. Wa'a Walam. Akiyawa. Hakatan. Yagadal. Mamanawa. Wazarai. It's like Raza I war. Yahaya. Mala. Hagawayam. Verse 20. Wayabarakam.
A little bit rusty, huh?
Oh yeah.
I see that. It's all about practice and consistency, you know.
Wayawam. Hahawa. It's like Hahawa. La'amawar.
You know what? Finish the chapter because the chapter ends at verse 22, I believe, right?
Okay. Baka.
Yeah, just finish the chapter. Sorry.
Yabarak. Yashal. La'amor.
Mhm.
Yashamak. It's like Yashamak. Alahayam. Ka'aparium. Wakama Nasha. Wayasham. Ath. Agaparium. Lapanya. Manasha. Verse 21. Wayamar. Yashala. Yawasa. Hanaha. Anakaya. It's like Matha. Wayahaya. Alahayam. Amakam. Wahashayab. Athakam. Arataza. Abathayakam. Abuyathakam. Verse 22. What just happened? I like it. Anaya. Nathaya. Laka. Shakam. Akad. Akiyak. Ashar. Lakathaya. Mayad. Ha'amaria. Bakarabaya. Wabakwa Shaythaya. And that's the end of verse 22.
All right, let's get it in the English. You got this scripture right there. Let's get into it, man. We're reading in the English, of course. You know, we used to English. I just hope that someday we all just doing the whole thing in Hebrew and speaking in Hebrew. You know what I mean? We're gonna be diligent in preparing for those days. Those are gonna be glorious days ahead. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna come without trial though. So we gotta get to there first. That comes with you locking into this truth and starting to get an understanding of everything. Staying locked in is vital, absolutely vital to you. You know what I'm saying? Earning salvation. You know, the Most High says, work out thine own salvation with fear and trembling. That we collectively, as you know, Israelites, are going to allow a lot of people to move in and get saved in that day because of the works that we do and opening people's eyes and things like that. But at what level is it, and how much turmoil are you going to go through to get to that salvation? You know what I'm saying? Make things easier on yourself by putting in the work now. Have the foresight to understand the direction that the earth is going, to put in the effort now to be prepared for when things get worse. Because when we read about this going on in Egypt, what's going to go on in Exodus, things are going to seem like they're good times. You know what they say? They say good times make weak men. Struggling times make strong men. We don't want to get too comfortable. We have to stay aware of everything going on. Let's go ahead and get into that. Go ahead and read that.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 48 and verse 15.
Again, from this point, it was very important what just happened. Israel, or Jacob, his name was changed to Israel, had just blessed the sons of Joseph and brought them into the fold, which explains how Joseph's sons are on the 12 tribes chart. It was Manasseh and Ephraim, or Manasseh and Apariam. Okay, those are the two sons that are now going to be considered of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel from this point on. This is how the story goes in the Bible. You understand? This is the scripture you go to prove that those sons of Jacob, that these sons that are technically Jacob's grandsons, are actually part of the 12 tribes of Israel by name, the tribe of their own. Of course, them two together would be under Joseph's steed, but this is how that came to be. Go ahead and read on.
Verse 15. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me all my life, long unto this day.
And see, Jacob knew that the Most High was with him this whole time. Jacob, the original Israelite, you know what I'm saying? The original, the one whose name was Israel, Prince of the Power, the one that wrestled against the angel, the one that stood 10 toes down through the turmoil of famines and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Now he's blessing his son who he thought was dead all these years. Imagine you finding your son and then finding out not only is your son alive, but he has sons now. You know how fulfilling that must be, knowing that these are Jacob's last days on the earth and that his life is now complete because his family has been made whole again. And I can't imagine what that feels like because I don't have children, but I can only imagine if I were to put myself in his shoes, or at least try to, that is such a moment, you know what I'm saying, that's so strong that can give somebody the infinite ambition to move forward. Now, them sons of Joseph are the ones that are being put in that blessing, that are going to be given the birth, or basically the inheritance of being the Israelite. Go ahead.
Verse 16. The angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them.
Damn. There you go. Keep going.
In the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst, in the midst of the earth.
Joseph's sons are of the 12 tribes of Israel because of a request by Israel himself. Think about that for a second. Israel requested this thing, and it was granted to him by the Most High, who gave the order for the angels to do this thing for him. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you're a spiritual person, we here on the earth, we don't quite get the fact of what's working behind the scenes because we live off of what we see and what we feel. But there are things that are going on around us that are reinforcing your very act and motion and thought. You understand? The scripture says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. And if you look up the biblical definition of principalities, it says powerful angels and demons. And what is it that he said? Read that again. Read that verse again.
Verse 16. The angel which redeemed me from all evil. Bless the lads.
Like, remember that thing that saved me? I remember that spirit that gave me purpose again, that brought the evil out of me. I want that same soldier of the Most High to then raise these two children in strength. Go ahead.
And let my name be named on them.
Absolute. Go ahead.
And the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. And he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. Verse 18. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father.
So
for this is
a little bit of there's a formality here that they're trying to stick with. And this is honorable in its own way, right? They're trying to keep the order of things. The firstborn receives this. This is how it's supposed to be. But time and time have we seen throughout the scriptures from Isaac and Ishmael to Jacob and Esau. And then now, in this particular case, Manasseh and Ephraim, that the narrative the Most High is pushing is for a specific reason, right? Where it's not necessarily, it is in a sense a preference, but there's an order that the Most High has working that sometimes has exceptions to the norm. The norm here being the firstborn receives the inheritance. The firstborn is the beginning of your strength. So it's supposed to be the firstborn getting the bulk of the inheritance. So that's why Joseph was displeased, because this is what the established order of things is supposed to look like. But here's what his father had to say about that. Read that again.
And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. And he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head.
Right.
Verse 18. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son. I know it. He shall become a people, and he shall be great. But truly, his younger brother shall be greater than he.
Damn.
And his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
Good night. Let me help you out here in understanding exactly how this plays out even to today. Hispanic culture, right? We just had the most incredible time at Fiesta with, I guess, Cinco de Mayo coming up. And we don't really take part in the culture in the sense of tying to it. We go out there to be amongst the people so they could see us, prophets. They could see our culture coming back to them. They could be around us. The beautiful thing about what we saw out there was the unity amongst the different tribes of Israel, particularly the northern tribes. Now, of course, all nations were there because it was a public event. But in the very same city that is known for being militaristic, anti-immigrant, anti-this, anti-that, propaganda against the Latin American people, these people that were here got along pretty well until 11 o'clock when there was two brothers that shot each other. But what I'm saying, though, is there was a lot of unity amongst our people. I saw flashes of what we could be because of the camaraderie that we shared amongst the tribes. Now, I'm getting to a point here. Which son is it here that was said that was going to be greater than Manasseh? Let me ask you something. Do you even know, without looking at the back of one of our business cards, which tribe Manasseh is? Who's Manasseh?
You from?
No, that's Manasseh.
No. This is the Cubans? The Cubans?
Come on. You got a business card? Look at the business card.
I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm like.
I know you got, there's business cards up in here. You got one on you, right?
Manasseh? Yeah, I do.
I believe it is the Cubans, actually.
I think it's Cubans. I was like, wait a minute. I think it's Cubans.
Cubans.
And
you know,
don't see a lot of Cubans, brothers.
Hold on a minute. They have been isolated. They have been sanctioned against, right? Look at that.
Yeah, Cubans.
This is the Cubans, right?
Now,
Now, read that again. Read that verse one more time. Because again, there's a point being made here, and it was, Jacob or Israel had such a foresight that he was blind and he knew the future of these two boys that were his grandchildren. You know how spiritual that is right there? For you to know generations ahead of time of what something's going to happen. The Most High was with Israel, man. That man Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, the Most High showed him things, and he's putting you on game right here. Because this is echoed throughout time today. Now, of course, the Cubans are an incredible tribe, and we need more Manasseh in the Sabbath service and in Isupk, because I tell you right now, I have yet to hear during the Sabbath service, such and such, Ban Manashah, Ban Yasha'Allah. I haven't heard Manashah. I haven't heard that in the class. Have you heard that in the class? Where are they at? Oh, they're still isolated in Cuba. But that's the Cubans, right? Now, who is he talking about right now? Read that again. Who is the one that he put his hand on the younger son, not the oldest, and that son's name was what?
You ready?
Yeah, read.
Verse 19. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son. I know it.
He said, I know who the oldest is. I don't know how he knows because he's blind and he's feeling hair right now. But he knows which one it is. That's crazy. Go ahead.
He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great.
And he's giving Manasseh his due. He said, he's gonna be a hell of a tribe. Remember, I'm the one that's giving you this blessing of him being of the 12 tribes of Israel, the official name, right? It doesn't say the tribe of Joseph. It says his sons' names, Manasseh and Manasseh and Apariam. Go ahead.
But truly his younger brother,
the Ephraimites, or what do we know them today as?
Puerto Ricans.
The Puerto Ricans. What about the Puerto Ricans? Read.
His younger brother shall be greater than he.
His younger brother shall be greater than he. Why is this happening? How is this happening now? Do you want to give a shot at it? I want to see if you have an understanding here. What is it about the Puerto Ricans that stands out now to where they would be considered greater than the Cubans?
I mean, you're gonna see them everywhere. You see the culture. Well, you see them like soccer, playing soccer, sports, all these different things.
Yeah, okay.
You see them out there more than you would see Cubans out there. But you see more, like especially with sports. You see them doing things, and you see them out partying more. Like they just out there.
Let me give you some examples, right? I'm gonna give you just a couple examples so you can understand. Hip hop. You ever heard of Big Pun?
Yeah.
The Punisher? You know what I'm saying? That with the flow that was on the level that Biggie had, if he had lived longer, that was a Puerto Rican brother. You understand? And I believe perhaps Fat Joe as well, right? Big Punisher, lyrical giant, and a literal giant if you saw him in person. Who else? How about reggaeton? You ever heard of reggaeton? Matter of fact, when we were at the fiesta, I saw Isupk. I saw, you know what I'm saying? I saw Apariam. I saw, Gadites. I saw all the tribes dancing in a circle to none other than Ephraimite music. And music is not what makes it strong, the unity that it pulls in. You You know what I'm saying? But people talk about what's that guy's name? Yankee, Daddy Yankee. I believe he's Puerto Rican as well, right? Puerto Rico, being one of the islands, is very much in tune with their other brothers, the Benjamites. That's what reggaeton is. Reggaeton is an extension of reggae, but for the northern tribes, right? Unifying them together. Just like how I saw them unified at something as mundane as fiestas. Spiritually, what we were seeing was the unification of a lot of the northern tribes of Israel, and what was just a small sample, if still, of course, off because of the nature of people not understanding who they are truly to their identity. But even in their ignorance, there was such a camaraderie there between the tribes of Israel. I saw Judites there. Heck, you should have seen Officer Kabar getting down, passing out flyers, chopping it up with the families. It was like a family reunion. You know what I mean? Most of the Edomites that were there just kind of kept it moving. But you had us that were going around talking to everybody like we were all family. We've known each other for years. And I bring that to your point because, again, the Puerto Ricans are definitely a huge influence in who we are, and a very great number of us that have made it over here to the States. That while they had been isolated to Puerto Rico, they came in. They in Florida, they in New York, they here in Texas, they in California. They there. They great. This is the Bible we're talking about. We're not reading no fairy tales. We're reading the history of our people and the prophecy of our people. It was like as if Jacob was given a vision of what the Puerto Ricans have become. Even still in our captivity, when we're starting to break through the fold and actually coming out of our hellish condition, that we actually are starting to show our light to everybody. We're starting to influence everything around us. And, the scripture says we're the salt of the earth. We bring the earth its flavor. Spain ain't dropping no gems. They're the ones that have the language of Spanish. It's reggaeton and artists like Daddy Yankee and, Isupk brothers, that are actually bringing all the flavor and then going on world touring, and everybody likes their style. Well, guess what? It's their language, but it's still Israel's style. So we, how much more powerful will we be when we have our own style and our own language and our own culture with no infiltration? I think that what Israel saw was the extent of what that could be, the potential of what we could be. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot for saying I think. I know that that's what it is because that's what he says. Read on.
Verse 2. Verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And he blessed them that day, saying, And thee shall Israel bless, saying, God, make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh.
Mm-hmm.
And he set Ephraim before Manasseh.
He said Ephraim before Manasseh because this is prophecy. Can't go against it. If the scripture says to Judah go the scepter, Judah is going to be the tribe that leads us into the age of awakening. Is that not what happened in 1969? That's exactly what happened. I understand that prophecy is the utmost authority in the way things are going to go. That's why when we say lock in, you have to know what you have to lock into. You have to know these things. You have to learn these things. You have to ask questions. You have to see the Bible for the first time because there's verses in there that you may have read halfway asleep when you were trying to skim through it, but you never read them like this before. Because when we take 2 hours to talk about 7 verses, you're going to make sure those 7 verses better than you ever could have ever imagined. Because you're getting it in the ancient language, you're getting it in understand it at a higher level. Because Isupk is not only just the home of the truth, we bring it away so that you can understand it front, line, center. You get the full life in your history. That's what this is all about. leave being an Israelite. That's who you are. You're going to have to come to terms with that eventually, or face the consequences of not becoming what you're supposed to be. So why withhold it? Cut out for a second. Go ahead and read it. Read on.
Oh, the scripture, what do you say?
Go ahead and pull that.
Oh, hold on.
Well, he just read, which verse was that? Oh, it was verse 20. Verse 20 says, and he blessed them that day, saying, in these shall Israel bless.
This, slightly.
Go ahead.
Oh, the scripture, because you have pulled something or said something like crazy, not crazy, but like really heavy. You were saying like just because you can leave the truth doesn't make like you not being an Israelite. Like you still have an obligation. But this is the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. Mm-hmm. For what if some do not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
You know what? You refuse. You know, the scripture says, he that turned his ear from hearing the law, even their prayer shall be an abomination. If you turn your ear from hearing the Bible, you not knowing what it says doesn't change the effect of what it says. Because it's the Bible and the words and authority of the Most High being put in this book that make everything happen the way it does. So when you ignore that, it doesn't change the fact that it's still going to happen. You're just not going to know when it's going to happen. Or not necessarily when it's going to happen. You're just not going to know what's going to happen. Or maybe you know what's going to happen because you've stuck around long enough to hear some things. But there's always another level deeper into this that you're not considering because you get comfortable with what amount of knowledge you do have. The learning never stops. The growth never stops. I had to understand that. That's why my name is Ayala on Mighty Tree. You know how long it takes for a tree to grow?
Long time.
It could be 100 years old and it's still growing. I had to understand to digest that. You know what I mean? That it's going to take time for me to get become what I'm supposed to be. But that doesn't change the fact that I have to continue to grow and to find that nourishment and to get what I need. You understand? We're spiritual people with spiritual names and spiritual, mannerisms and everything like that. We know where we come from. You understand? We know what we are. Let's get off of level 1 and start to actually get to the meat of it. The scripture says, desire ye the sincere milk of the word that you may grow thereby. You have to start with the simple things before you can get into the advanced topics. You're not going to go to college and go straight to calculus. You're going to go to that intermediate, remedial math, right? Because you took the test, you probably failed it. But they say, oh, you just need to brush up on these 3 courses before you can actually do college algebra, right? Okay. You know what I mean? I digress. There's more. Read that verse again.
The same one I brought?
Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Go to verse 1.
Verse 1? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's important.
This is the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew?
What advantage of there being a Jew? How does that pertain to this scripture that we're reading in Genesis? Read on. Sure.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
These sons are being anointed to be Jews, or what, Jews meaning Israel, right? Because Jew is short for Judah. I just want to clarify that for those of you that are taking notes. Make sure to write those things down. Jew is just a short term for Judah. And Israelites are the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, guess what? We just read in Genesis chapter 48 that Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, had anointed Joseph, his son, anointed his sons. Jacob anointed his grandsons, Manasseh and Ephraim. He did it on terms that he understood even greater than Joseph understood of who was going to be a greater brother than out of the two. And Joseph had to accept it because that's his father, and because Joseph had, it's like Joseph did not have the inside information that Jacob did. But Joseph understood that if that's how it's supposed to be, if that's prophecy, he understands prophecy when it's in front of him. He said he doesn't try to deny that. He doesn't try to fight against it. He's used to this culture of to the firstborn goes the inheritance. But when there's an exception to that rule, because of a visitation from the Most High or a vision or some kind of farsight into what's supposed to be due to prophecy and being a spiritual person that Jacob was, he stepped to the side and said, you know what? If this is how it's supposed to be, that's how it's going to be. And I'm with it 100% of the way. We have to be the same way that Joseph was right there, to take low and to actually go with the program that the Most High is setting up, the narrative that the Most High is pushing on this earth. It's much more important for you to do that now than ever before, because the rest of the world is going to crumble, and man, is it going to crumble quick. You know what I'm saying? Your tax money, your dollars, your little paycheck that it gets evaporated the second it gets deposited. It ain't going to be nothing more than just digital currency, because you ain't going to be even able to withdraw it from the bank. And even if you do, it's not backed by gold. So it's just toilet paper at that point. When the wars break out, that's all it is. Fiat money. We can't rely on this place. We have to think about the next world. Jacob was thinking about the next world back in the old world. 3-4 worlds ago, if you want to put it like that. 4 to 6,000 years ago? This was a long time ago, man. And here we are today. You're still alive. Your lineage has gone to where it is. You're back on this earth in that body right there. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that chance? Because get what you can while you can. Take the notes you can while you can. I don't even take notes on my phone. And then I make backup. You know what I mean? You can't rely on this. You're back in. Go back to just. Oh, what advantage there was? No, read the next verse.
Verse 2. Much every way.
Much everywhere. Like the question was, what advantage is there to being a Jew? Every advantage.
Much every way.
Every single. Going to be the greatest one, but guess what? He's still going to be an Israelite. There's still advantage in that. Let me put my pride to the side here of wanting to look out for my firstborn and just understand that this is the order of things. Sometimes it's the younger brother that gets to shine, man. And I hate being the one to say that. Trust me. But if that's what the Most High has ordained, and I speak that from experience. And he's no longer here. If the Most High has it ordained to be his own order, you cannot fight against it. You have to step into that role and you have to lock in. Why? Because your brothers need you, man. Your sisters need you. People out there in the world that you've never met that are of the tribes of Israel, they need you. They need you to fulfill the role that you were meant to be. But you can't do that if you don't lock into your culture. And we're talking about Ephraim and Manasseh right now. I mean, come on now. If they're supposed to be a great nation, imagine you being the one to help them become that great nation within the 12 tribes of Israel. Because you're going out there to teach them who they are. You know how honorable that is? That's worth locking in for, is it not? Waking up your brothers and making the prophecies of the Bible come true because of your works. There's nothing more honorable than that. Go ahead, go back to Genesis.
Verse 21. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but God shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers.
Most High is going to be with you. You know how and Israel knew he was getting to the end of his life. And he still cared about other people. He could have made this about him because it was his moment, right? And he still made sure to put brothers and sisters on game of what is in store for them. Naming his children, his grandchildren. Read that again.
And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but God shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Verse 22, Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brother, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow.
The Amorite, Amaria, which means assayer, one of the peoples of East Canaan and beyond the Jordan, dispossessed by the Israelite incursion from Egypt. So this was something that Joseph had gotten hands on before he went blind with his fighting skills. It's something that he fought for. I have given thee one portion above thy brethren. Now, why is this important? Who was the highest level son out of all of Jacob's children? Go ahead.
Joseph.
Was he the oldest?
No. He was the youngest, actually.
Benjamin
No,
was the
he was the second youngest.
Second youngest. He was the second youngest, and he was the greatest of them. Not because Jacob wanted it to be that way, but because the Most High wanted it to be that way. Does that make sense? Read that again.
Verse 22. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brother.
What is a portion?
An inheritance. His inheritance above him.
Let me help you out. Shakam means shoulder or back in general. The origin comes from the word rise. Portion means rank. You see what I'm saying? Rank and order, structure. That's why it's referring to back and all that kind of stuff. But the origin of the word shakam is dealing with something being risen up. So when he's saying portion, he's saying you're higher up than all of your brothers. Because look what he went through. He went through all of what he went through and knew that he was going to go through it because of the vision that he saw when he was young. He got shunned for that. What we got to stop doing is we got to stop shunning the prophets of our people. Y'all got to start paying attention to them brothers putting their blood, sweat on that street corner. You know what I'm saying? That blood and sweat in everything that we do. The scripture says, whatever thou find thyself doing, do it with thy might. Whatever you find yourself doing, of course, it being righteous, of course, do it with all of your might so that you can excel in it. You know, I've heard the nerve, and I got to say this too, of some of the fake Israelites out there that get mad because our garments are too fly. Get upset because sisters put in love and effort into the garments that are made for our Passover. Oh, but y'all just trying to, we're supposed to be in hell. We're supposed to be in sackcloth. Oh, so that means we can't make garments with our strength, our might. I thought we were supposed to be the salt of the earth. I thought we we're supposed to represent our culture. I've heard so many crazy things, man. It's like, just try to block the noise. But the truth of the matter is, we expect that. Because we're just going to wipe the dust off our feet and keep it moving. We're just going to keep it going because there's much more work to do than to be arguing over petty strives like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just one example. So many other examples. China Monet at the well, it wasn't even the Passover. People thought it was a Passover. Assumptions get made. Don't be one of the kind of people that assume things about everybody. That's not healthy. Not for your own spirit. Because then you just gonna weigh on you over something that might not actually even exist. And that's where you've got so many people with anxiety and things like that, right? So what I'm saying though is expect the Most High to ordain things to happen. It may not go the way we expect, but we can expect it and understand it if we look at examples in the scriptures that give us an idea of how the Most High operates when the time comes for it to be that way, right? We have to be flexible. We're going to find out way more about that in this next book, the book of Exodus. Come on now. Exodus is a movie. Exodus is like 20 movies. I don't know how many chapters there. There's a lot, man. It's like you ever see a show where it's got so many cliffhangers you can't stop watching it. Before you know it, you already watched 10 episodes. It's like I watched 10 episodes in 3 days, man. I'm gonna slow down. 2 years. But we're gonna slow it down. We're gonna make sure to get the digestion of Exodus. Because you saw how we went through Genesis. We ain't no rush. You know why? Because we're gonna keep doing this until Christ comes back anyways. And we'll be doing this in the wilderness with all of our people here to listen. And it's going to be brothers like you listening in on that screen right there that have the chance to step into that fold right now. That'll make a change when the time is needed to give hope to the people that are going to be confused when those times come. You know they're coming. But don't drown yourself in distractions when you should be prepared. Because there's going to be another Exodus. At this time, you're going to be there with this body. Like you may have been in the first one. We don't know that. I'm not trying to say anything like that. We know how the Bible says about, until the third and fourth generation of them that hate him. How many times are we going to go through this? Aren't you tired of going through this? This cycle of confusion and despair? Are you tired of it? The Isupk and the Command Junior Hana is the place for people that are tired of it, that are doing something about it. And guess what? We got infinite salary cap. And you're a free agent. And you can sign on. You don't put in the work, though. That's what we want. That's what the Most High wants. This is why you awaken and even click on this video. More likely than not. Quite often, the Bible is almost like looking into a mirror because it's going to constantly show you where you're off and where your potential is.
Okay, you know this scripture about that. You just said them in Matthew chapter 17, verse 17, where Christ was like, Then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me.
That was excellent. The water for that. He said, do what? Bring them what?
Bring him hither to me.
Read the next verse.
And Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour.
That's heavy because, you know what I'm saying? What's actually happening in you when you tune into class is what happens to me when I tune into class. And more so when I first started tuning into class, is that devils get rebuked out of you. Doubt, anxiousness, confusion, ignorance, all those things get taken out because somebody cares about you. So it's best that you reciprocate that to the rest of your own people. We have to look at the bigger picture because it's not just about you and your situation, your life, and your struggle. It's all of us at the very same time. And it's only brotherhood that gets us through it. But when you isolate yourself, you limit your potential. This is the time to get it right, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. I know we've been screaming from the rooftops since 2,000 years ago that this is it, but the Most High works in a different time frame than us. But we see in the time that we're in now, it's like, I hope we have a little bit more time so I can get more right. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High, what was the scripture say? Make the time short. Let me get that. I got a scripture. You're not the only one that can pull scriptures. Give me which one? Because both of these are good. Give me Mark 13 and 20.
Mark 13 and 20?
Yeah.
Matthew and Mark. 13 and 20.
Oh man. Start at verse 17.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 17.
Yeah.
But woe to them that are with child.
I'm going to be really very direct right here. Raise your children while you can. Get them ready. But if you're giving suck, meaning, what does that mean to give suck? Read that again.
But woe to them that are with suck, that are with child. And to them that give suck in those days.
Do you know that's talking about breastfeeding? Because if you have to take flight while you're supposed to be nurturing a baby that's super needy about every damn thing, needing to sleep, needing food, needing sleep, needing more food, needing for you to clean up after them. Man, that's rough. Talk about bad timing, right? Hey, look, if you want to get it in and have your kid right now, hey, go ahead. That's fine, That's what we have. That's part of warfare, right? You can't win a war without reinforcements. What do you think these children coming up in the school, newborns in the school, what do you think they are? Reinforcements. That's absolutely incredible. To be born in the truth. Can you imagine that? You know what I'm saying? The level of strength that comes from them, their upbringing can topple an entire city. Just one child. And you're talking about an entire nation of children like that. But there's going to be children born in that mode, in that war mode. And that's the Most High is telling you right here. Go ahead.
But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. And pray ye that your flight be not in the winter.
Why? What flight? What flight is that talking about? I'm acting ignorant. I know what it is talking about. What do you think it's talking about? Pray that your flight not be salvation. Flight meaning movements. Now, of course, when we came out of Egypt, that was a flight. It wasn't a literal flight, but it was a flight because we fled, right? We know look at the world wars. Anytime anybody tried to mess with Russia, and they tried to move on them in the winter, what happened? They got whooped. Germany, whooped. Poland, I'm trying to remember. I don't know all the names. Austria-Hungary, they failed because winter is a brutal time when it comes to planet Earth, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Pray that it's not in the winter. That should be a part of our prayers, Slakia. We should make sure to add that to the prayer. I'm so used to Texas, there is no winter. But that's just this part of the globe. Imagine over in places where, pray is not in the winter. Go ahead.
Verse 19. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which God created unto this time, neither shall be. Yeah, so Christ coming during the winter.
You ever heard of the Tale of Two Cities? I only know the first sentence. It says it was the worst of times, it was the best of times. Imagine it being the worst of the worst of times. You have to prepare your mind for that. And whatever comes with that, your family, losing your loved ones, losing your way of life. That's what's coming. That's what happened in Egypt. Christ is telling you that that's coming. Christianity has got you blind because they think it's all sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops when he comes back.
He's telling you to your face exactly what's actually going to happen. See, Christians read everything but the Bible because they don't believe the Bible. They want to believe science fiction. They want to believe movies. They want to believe other books, like literally other books, when they could just read the Bible. I'll never understand that. But they'd rather read Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul or, the 5 Names of God or whatever kind of crazy books are out there. The scripture says, to the making of many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. So just read the Bible. Like Isaiah 34:16 says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. Because the Bible is the one that was ordained, and all these other books are just people trying to make money off of their own stupid thoughts. It don't matter. That's the truth of the matter, right? Go ahead. Oh, where it says, read verse 19 again.
Verse 19.
I swear we're doing the Torah. We're reading Genesis, but this is just right along with what's going on right here. Go ahead.
For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which God created unto this time, neither shall be. Verse 20.
Do you know how perilous existence was before humans even came to this earth? Like before we were put on here? Because creation happened and then people were put on it in a multitude. But it was a cutthroat, dog eat dog, lizard eat lizard type of world. It was like if you were to actually be a camera that's set on the earth the entire time after creation, even before we came on, it was war and death and killing and surviving that decided what exists now. That's why you go to Popeyes to order the chicken tenders, and that's only there because there were dinosaurs, however many thousands or whatever amount of years ago, that were walking the earth that fought and toothed and clawed and nailed to survive to even get to the point where they became chickens. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that scripture is talking about, is from the beginning of creation. You understand that? Very quickly, we'll look at Adam and Eve in that perilous time, right? Women having to get travail and birth and things like that, and of the beginning of sin is the woman, and through her we all die, like the Apocrypha says. But even before that, when things were created, it was just survive, survive, survive. And guess what's going to happen? When all the decree bring forth and the Most High brings this place to a screeching halt, it's going to be about survival. The only way you're going to survive is through brotherhood. Go ahead. I want to get to the point. Keep going.
Verse 20. Verse 20. And except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved.
If the Most High didn't ordain for these things to happen at an accelerated rate, everybody would die because of how tumultuous this is going to be. Are we really preparing our minds for that? Because that's what's coming. You don't want to be like the brothers and sisters that fled Egypt and looked back at it like Lot's wife. In their time, in their situation. You have to put away your love for this place now, because there won't be a place for you to love. See the background behind it? It's going to look like that. Look at the background. Yeah, it's going to be like that. You know what I mean? Except ICBMs and, more than just meteors. All right, go back. We need to, let's finish the chapter because we're going to close it out.
Come, we did.
No, Genesis.
Come, we read Genesis 22.
Read it one more time.
Okay. Verse 22. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brother, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow. That was it.
He took what he needed to survive. Because why? Because he too was a surviving type. We come from a lineage of royalty. We talk about the greatness of Israel at their strength. What about Israel at its very beginning? What it took for it to get to its strength? To be at the beginning of the building of a nation. Sometimes you have to go to war to do that. Ain't no love without hate. Ain't no peace without war, right? When is that time coming? It comes through our movements that we do right here, right now. That's exactly what Israel's looking at right now. Is that now we have the heathen round about us that are looking to devour us at every turn, to take advantage of us at every turn, to incinerate us at every turn through the abortion clinics, to intoxicate us at every turn in the bars and the liquor stores and the drug, what they call them, dispensaries and all that stuff, to take our substance from us. Because the money that you're spending at the places that you frequent are from your life being used to labor. You understand what I'm saying? And you're wasting it on making them strong rather than making your own people strong. But guess what? The Most High ordained for there to be a fail-safe against that, and it's called tithes. To ensure that you're investing in your own people. Look at the bigger picture. Understand that things are the way that the Most High set them to be, and He gives you the option to choose. And you already know what choice you're supposed to make. He can only this sounds like the Matrix. He can only show you the door when you're the one that has to walk through it. He gave you the ability to choose. He already knows what you're going to choose. He already knows what your story is written already. You know what I'm saying? But you're the one living it out right now in the time frame that you're able to experience it. So why hold back anymore? Oh, read that one more time. There was one more point I wanted to make from that.
Verse 22. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite.
Remember how heavy it was when Joseph was sitting, it's like standing in front of his brothers as the leader of his brothers, and his brothers didn't even know that that's who he was. And then he revealed to them that it was their brother, their long-lost brother that they sold into slavery, the one they were planning to kill. The gravity of that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the Most High has you in different situations to build you up to the point where you can then lead, that you can then fulfill your purpose. You felt like that was going to happen at some point in your life. At least, hopefully, that's why you came into the truth, to fulfill a purpose. Shalom on Christ. Clayton Reed, big up to Clayton Reed's calling tuning in. You know what I'm saying? As you begin to study how we operate, you'll notice in the comment section, brothers and sisters, they offer a greeting that is in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. It's a matter of saying Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yashar Barakatah if they're a male, or Yahweh Shemalata Ba'ashem Yahushai if they're a female. We'll make sure to get everything decently in order so you have that whole process down. We want more people to check in the way that we ordained for it to be since we first started doing this thing online and all that. Of course, we've been doing this in person for decades now. We're just an extension of that. So that you could get your name, your Hebrew name, so that you could take your first steps into changing yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of why we do this. The Sabbath service is, and I'm saying this now because we're here closing out the Sabbath service. You're going to see us do the prayers again in a second. The Sabbath service is us serving the Most High, taking time from our day of rest to honor Him. The completion of creation. That's what it is. But at the very same time, we are still being completed in what we were created to be. The Sabbath service is an exercise for you to continue to complete what the Most High set for you to become. Does that make sense? You understand that? Put a con in the chat if you understand that. Because now you understand exactly what it is that we do when we come out here and read the Hebrew, go over the scriptures the way we do, to be thorough about these things so that you can become what the Most High created you to be. That's what the Sabbath even is. That's why we start the Sabbath off with the Sabbath service, which just shows that we serve the Lord, not ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We all have to make a choice whether or not we're going to indulge in our own, affairs, things like that throughout our day. Hell, I understand that because a lot of our people, we got a little bit of time here. A lot of our people work a slavery the whole entire week. A lot of us don't even have a day of rest. There's brothers that have 2 jobs, 3 jobs. There's brothers that work 7 days a week. The brothers that have time to serve the Lord instead of themselves, they're going to be right here holding the scrolls, blowing the horns, reading in the ancient Hebrew, because it's what pushes the Most High's narrative forward. And if there's anything you want to understand about the book of Genesis, it was about pushing the Most High's narrative forward, not mankind's wants and things like that, but the Most High's narrative is what becomes the most important thing. And the sooner we understand that, the sooner we continue to actually get to the point where we are in favor of him and can be saved from this place. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close it out like that. With that, Amajim. Go ahead and make sure to mark where we're at. Do we close the scroll first?
Go
ahead and do that. Blow the horn first one time, just to make sure that, when in doubt. Hold on, let me fix the resolution right quick. Yeah, I saw that. All right, we're good. Oh. Okay. It's crazy. Amajim, which means to stand. Sar, which means to turn. Opanya Hakudam, which means to face the east. And we're going to finish with the Lord's Prayer in the ancient Hebrew. And then we're going to translate it to the English. Abanau. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shemkah. Yahweh. Malakuka. Taba'ah. Ratazayaka. Hayah. Aisha. Rataza. Kawa. Hayah. Hashemayim. Telanoah. Lakam. Kal. Yawam. Salakhanao. Kabawathnoah. Kasalakhnao. Kabawathinoah. Wala'ah. Tabi'ai now. Banasai one. Abal. Awashai now. Hayat. Rai. Hayat. Laka. Amalakwa. Wahala. Watapara. I will love you. Amen. Now in English we said, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Sorry, I'm going to turn face to front. At this time, we're going to salute the scroll. Go ahead and exit right here. I'll turn the camera. Stand a little bit to this way. Yeah, You know when it's good.
That's good. Right there. You gotta make a new post.
Sisters may have a seat. Individual, we're going to turn and face the brothers for one courtesy salute. Individual, Amajim Shabbat. Amajim, Barak. Yahweh Shem El Shai Brakatham. Yadim Matah. Sorry, we're going to turn and face the sisters for one courtesy salute. Sisters, you may stand. Individual, Amajim Shabbat. Amajim, Barak. Yahweh Shem El Shai Brakatham. Yadim Matah. Dismiss.